I told you they're gonna say, here goes Kim being politically correct. It's amazing how people have a problem with that. You know what? Let's change. And let's try it anyway. See, it doesn't show my face. Hi, welcome in. I don't know what to do because it's not staying today. I don't know what's going on. How are you today? Oh, whoever it was, they came in and they left. Wow. Still not high enough. Let's see how this works. Nope, still not. Hey T, how are you? My thing fell. Hey Sean, Happy New Year to both of you. Hold on 1 second. It fell and now I can't get it back to the correct height. So I did all my practicing before and it still failed. This is what I get for trying to be somewhat prepared. All right. How was y'all's New Year? Did y'all do anything? Oh, I know Sean went out because we seen the videos. But did y'all do anything special? It's funny because I always make sure that I do my test runs prior to so that I won't have these problems and still have these problems. You know, it's interesting because I was also, and then I finally woke up like a few minutes before and I was actually on somebody's live on TikTok and I didn't even know it was midnight until they actually said it because technically, you know, the new year is not in the dead of the winter. So, I bet you are, but you look amazing. I will say that. You look amazing. I'm sitting here eating some yogurt because I told you guys the the antibiotic, you know, did what it's always do, break you out and make it worse. So, she did. She looked amazing. She definitely was blinging. So again, you know, you guys know that I am the owner and operator of Copper Hue Collections, which is a cosmetic line that I actually started years ago, thanks to my son. So I'll give you a little backstory. So my son, his name is Cameron, and Cameron was diagnosed with lupus without me knowing. He didn't tell me because he didn't want me to worry and be upset and all that kind of stuff. But one day he began to complain about, Bella, get out my kitchen. He began to complain. No, she's going outside. he began to complain about, his skin being brittle and things of that nature. And at the time, I wouldn't have known anyway because I was living out in Utah. I hadn't been home because of COVID and things of that nature. So I wouldn't have known that he was actually even sick. This was in 2019, and we had just got to Utah. So the last time I'd been home to Delaware was in 2018. And so I began to start researching what products to use for someone who has skin as she thinks she's slick, but she's been wanting me to pick her up, and I've been so busy trying to get started and everything, so she's not feeling the love right now. But I began to study and research what is best, what's the causes of lupus and how and how what causes it and what causes the dry skin and things of that nature. So long story short, I was already making products. I was already making products for myself and for my family. And so once I made this lotion for him, and I did speak to a couple of, I'm in the kitchen today. Well, she knows she's not supposed to be in here, but she has to go through the kitchen to get out back. So she knows that's as far as she's supposed to go. But anyway, so I came up with this product, and he was so surprised because, like he said, he had tried all types of store brand products, which I'm not going to name, that they just weren't working, and he would have to keep constantly putting lotion on, and it felt like he was cracking his skin and making it dry more. And so I did speak to a few cosmetic chemists. I got some consultations with a few cosmetic chemists back then, and was able to come up with a formulation. And after that, he's like, "Mom, you have really got to turn this into a business." He was like, "There's no way that you have to leave your God-given gift." And the reason why he says God-given gift is because everyone in my family will tell you I'm gifted in my hands. So as long as my hands are touching it, it's going to be blessed. I can say something all day long. I can think something all day long, but if I don't put my hands on it, it will not be successful. That's just how I've always been. So I've always been gifted in the area of my hands. And so actually that's what started Indulgence Bath and Cosmetics initially, because I felt like I needed to create a business that was going to cater to everybody. But the more I thought about it, when my husband decided to take the job here, the more I thought about it, I was like, wait, there's not many businesses out here that really caters to us besides the DIY businesses that are, just out here just trying to make $1 and try to go viral. But there's no real melanated businesses out here that's really caring and catering to our skin. Because the fact remains is that although we have melanin in our skin, we actually have sebum. And to be honest with you, they do not have sebum. They'll say it, but they actually do not, which is what allows us not to burn in the sun. And one of the things that we have that is natural to our skin once your sebum is destroyed is that you can use certain oils and butters. But we also have to take care of our skin as well. Now, is it common for us to get I'll tell you that in a second. And so what I did was I just kind of stopped everything. I stopped making products. This process started back in, I believe, like March. And so I just kind of stopped everything. I said, you know what, I'm not going to do Indulgence right now because I need to see if we're going to move or not. So what I did was that's when I took the time to begin to start doing research on products specifically, or oils and butters. And butters is nothing but hard oils. It's still the same thing. It's still shea butter is still nothing but an oil. It comes from a nut tree over in West Africa, and it's an oil first that's been processed into a butter. But so I began to really just study what oils are best for our skin, because there are some of us, unfortunately you have mulatto children, you have mixed race children, things of that nature. You have some people that are not pure blood, and when you have that, in that case, there's going to be some disruptions in the aging process and what their skin and things look like. That's why you'll see, and not to, down anybody, but that's why you'll see people like Jasmine Guy. Let's give her an example. Jasmine Guy, who we always like to use the term black don't crack. She's considered to be black because she has one parent that is quote unquote black. However, she also has a parent that is non-black. And that part of her non-black genetic makeup is actually causing her to age really quickly and not so good. So if you look at Jasmine Guy from a different world to Jasmine Guy, who's now, I believe she's in her 60s. That Jasmine Guy at the time, she was actually in her 30s. She was one of the oldest castmates on the show at the time, although she was playing a early 20-year-old student. She actually was in her 30s. But if you look at that 30-year time span, she began to age. And there's things you can do as far as your diet is concerned, but there's also things that you can do as far as your butters and oils and things of the nature is concerned. So that's where I was. I wanted to learn what specifically can we use to keep ourselves from wrinkling, getting fine lines, because some people do. I actually started getting some dark spots, which I never thought that I would get, and things of that nature. So I did a deep dive into doing that. And that gave me time from the time that he was interviewing for this position to the time that we actually moved here. It gave me time to rebrand my business, which is when I changed the name to Copy You Collections, because I wanted to focus more on our skin and the issues that we have with our skin. So to answer your question, Sean, when I choose scents, what I do is I actually look to see what's trending. Just that simple. You're always going to have your standard scents. For me, I'm always going to have my standard, which is, lavender, chamomile, calendula, things of that nature. You're always going to have those standard scents because that's something people will always want. Adults want lavender. Lavender's good for children. However, I just basically looked at what is trending for the season. So like right now, I'm also working on my Valentine's Day set right now as well while I'm working on my baby set. And right now, the scent that is trending is multiple scents. You have, strawberry. You have vanilla. You actually have strawberries and chocolate. You have love spell. So there's a lot of scents right now that are trending because people are preparing for Valentine's Day when it comes to their collections. And a good way to do it is just to go to good old Google or go into Bath and Body Works, go into Victoria's Secrets and things of the nature, and look at and see what's trending. One little key thing a lot of people don't know that I actually learned from running this business is that any scent that you find in Bath and Body Works, for a given example, oh, thank you. Just know that Bath and Body Works just know that Bath and Body Works do not. Hi, how are you, Sean? Happy New Year. Welcome in. Bath and Body Works does not own the scent fragrance. They're not like these celebrities. Celebrities actually don't own their scent fragrance either, other than the proprietary recipe that they have. So just like Bath and Body Works has Love Spell, that Love Spell is owned by a manufacturer. That manufacturer then turns around and sends that fragrance out and sells it out to everybody else. Now, there could be some changes to that proprietary recipe that only Bath and Body Works has. That is the truth. So say, for example, there is a wholesale company right now that sells fragrances. And that wholesale company's fragrances, if you smell them, they have to be a tiny slight difference in Love Spell as it would be Love Spell in the store. And the reason being is that when they're doing that proprietary recipe for Bath and Body Works, they're just simply changing the amount of one particular note that they're putting in the fragrance. So say, for example, we'll say they may have sandalwood. Bath and Body Works may have a 10% sandalwood load in their fragrance, whereas what they quote unquote call the dupes, which they're really not dupes, but they call them the dupes, that fragrance load may have 9% of the sandalwood. That is the only difference. So you'll smell the slight difference in it, But when you smell it, you're like, oh, this smells just like Bath and Body Works. It's because they don't own that fragrance load. They don't own the scent or anything of that nature. So that's why you can always pretty much find those scents anywhere in any of these stores, whether it's these candle stores or whether it's these fragrance stores. So with that being said, I started making my baby's body butter. I already weighed everything out, reason being is because my recipe is proprietary, just like everyone else's. I know a lot of people do get mad because you don't want to share your recipe, but in order for you to be good and successful what you do, you have to practice yourself and go by trial and errors as well. But one thing we have to do is we have to tell you what's in the product. That is required by law. So there should never be a problem when you're telling somebody what you're putting in there. You just do not have to share the amounts. I did want to talk about my body butter. And let me check it right quick. Hold on. Because I did have to kind of, okay, good. I did have to kind of do a test run. I mean, not a test run, some before so I wouldn't belabor the time. So what I have here in my bowl, exactly. But you know, it's sad because you'll have a lot of people come onto your social media pages and they will dog you out and tear down your video because you won't share your recipe. And they don't understand is that, I mean, we've taken hours to come up these recipes. You know, I mean, there are some people out here copycatting recipes and wondering why the recipes are failing, but they don't want to take that time that is needed to study. And I always tell people, call Bath and Body Works and ask them their formula for their lotion. They're not going to give it to you. So why do you expect me to give you my formula if Bath and Body Works will give you theirs? Make that make sense. Now, I am thinking about starting to sell maybe some recipes in percentages wise, but I would never give it in the exacts. I haven't decided yet. There's another website that I found that I can use to do memberships, but I haven't decided yet if I want to do that or just wait until I got to my 500 yet, but we'll see. But in here, as y'all know, I have baby Carson coming around about March 3rd. And so I said, you know, it's interesting because we always have lotions for babies, but no one ever has body butters. And understanding that baby skin, well, see, that's the problem. We live in, I used to call it a microwavable world. We live in a microwavable times right now, where everybody thinks that if I ask you a question, you're just obligated, required to give me the answer. And nobody wants to take the time to do the research. I don't understand why. Because it's a lot of, unfortunately, small businesses out here, especially on TikTok, where they're just copying people's recipes and going out and starting these recipes and then starting these businesses without any understanding of business, even ingredients. There was a particular bar soap on TikTok that actually has now been banned, and the young lady is being sued because she was using kojic acid. The interesting thing, I was just about to start using kojic acid. Now, kojic acid is still a good product to use, but kojic acid is one of those acids, and people hear the word acid and think, oh my God, it's gonna eat at your skin. No, it still has health benefits. It is a lightening and brightening product. However, it has to be used at a very minimum amount in your recipe. Typically only about a 0.5% in your recipe. And you had these girls out here making these turmeric bar soaps with this kojic acid in, and these girls were buying it and they were burning. Their skins were burning. Like people's skin was coming on and doing reviews showing their literal skin was burning because too much kojic acid will burn the skin. And one of the things that a lot of these small businesses don't do is they don't teach you that you can't use that soap and go outside in the sun. If you're going to use it, it should be a nighttime soap, not a daytime soap. Because you cannot shower with that soap and then go right out in the sun, because those sun rays are going to hit that kojic acid and burn your skin like someone just poured acid on you. And she had so many reviews where people's skin was burning. TikTok had to ban her shop. And first they pulled the soap off, and then she put it back on, and they ended up banning her. Now she's being sued by people because she didn't do her due diligence and study and learn how much to actually use. And the interesting thing is when you buy these products on the labels, they tell you how much to use in your recipe. And if it's not on the label, it's on the website. The website will tell you how much to use in every recipe. There is amounts in listen, I don't care where you buy this stuff, unless you buy your stuff from somebody that's not reputable. You should be able to find your usage percentages on the website. It's just that simple. You should be able to find it. If it's not on that website, I look at it like it's not a reputable business. Because we don't have to share recipes, but some things are required to share. And like, I don't have to put in my recipe, I use 10% of this and 20% of this and 18% of this. I don't have to put that on my recipe. But what the law does require me to do, what the law does require me to do is whatever ingredient I have the most in, to put that first. So when you see shea butter as the first ingredient, that means that product has more shea butter in it. However, when you go to the store, on the front of your label, the front of your label is going to say, oh, this got shea butter in here. This has mango butter in here. But when you flip that label around, you're going to see mango butter all the way down at like the 10th item. Shea butter going to be like the 9th item. You're going to be like, wait a minute. I thought you said this has shea butter in there. There's not enough shea butter in there to even go on the scale. So, which is another reason why I decided to start making my own products, because when I start learning that that's how you read a label, I'm like, what? So you mean to tell me we're buying products with the shea nuts and shea butter advertised all on the front of the label? Because in the United States, they allow for false advertising, except for small businesses. But they allow these large big box businesses to false advertise, stating that, oh, this product has moisturizing products in it, but when you flip it over and read it, there's no moisturizing products, such as i.e. Dove. Dove has no quarter moisturizing products in it whatsoever. If you was to take every one of those ingredients in the Dove soap, plug it into Google, you'll learn that nothing in those ingredients is moisturizing. It is straight chemicals and chemicals only. There's not a moisturizing product in there. Not one ingredient is moisturizing in the Dove, which is the reason why I stopped, because I swore by Dove. I raised my children on Dove. I use Dove. But when I started realizing there was no moisturizing products in Dove, I was like, no, something's wrong with this picture. So that's what made me stop. So when I started, indulgence, I started with making, I started off with making my soaps. I started making soaps and lotions first. So now we're gonna go ahead and, so when you do, what you gotta do is, here I have mango, I have shea, and I have kokum, and we'll talk about a little bit about it. So I did write some notes down because I was like, I'm not gonna remember all this. I know it when I'm doing it, but I know on camera I'm not gonna remember. So excuse me. So I want to read this. So let's start with shea. The one reason why I like to use shea, my two favorite things to use shea for is that shea adds collagen back in, and it also, let me sit down, it reduces, it regenerates the skin. So I don't know if you remember back in the day, we used to use a lot of kokum butter, or cocoa butter as we called it. Not kokum, sorry, cocoa butter. Well, shea butter does the same thing that cocoa butter does. If you get a scratch or a scar or anything of that nature, and you constantly put shea butter on it, it will reduce the appearance of that scar. Now, let me explain this to you. It will not get rid of the scar in its entirety. I know a lot of people like to say, it'll get rid of stretch marks, and no, it will not. It will reduce the appearance of it, which means it will fade it to the point that it's almost translucent, that you almost can't see that scar anymore. But that scar does not disappear. Unfortunately, that scar is going to always be there. But it will reduce the appearance of it. It will minimize it. But shea butter has triglycerides. It has vitamins A, E, and F. Shea butter is antifungal, antioxidant, antibacterial, and it also has an SPF of 3 to 4. Now, I used to make my own sunscreen before I learned that we're not supposed to wear sunscreen. And the main ingredient in my sunscreen was shea butter, raspberry oil, and carrot oil, which I'm actually going to come out with a body butter with those in it as well, because they're really great in SPF. With those 3 ingredients alone, you already have an SPF of 50. 50. Just with those 3 ingredients alone. You know what? It's so funny, Sean. I kid you not. So, as a little girl, because I've been using it on my face, I don't even remember where it started. Okay, wait. There it is. I don't know if y'all ever noticed, I have a scar right here. That scar has been there and been there and been there. See how it's now fading it? My scrub has been getting rid of that scar. That scar has been there since I was probably 5 years old. As a little girl, I was, they said I was excited to see, at the time it was my sister's father. I didn't know it was my father because my father was overseas at the time in the military. Or maybe, no, about 4. I was about 4 because I moved in with my father at 5. So I had to be about 4. And I ran through the glass because I guess the glass was so clean. I thought the door was open. They said I just ran straight through the glass at like 4 years old. And it cut me here and it cut me on my arm. And I cannot believe that scrub is actually getting rid of the appearance of it. But I kid you not, I have a new ingredient. I've improved that recipe. Yes, you can use it on your face as well. I've improved the ingredient. I have an extract that is now being added to that ingredient because I've been doing some research on extracts. As a matter of fact, my baby body butter is going to have the extracts, a couple of extracts in it. I'm going to start adding extracts to my ingredients because I've learned the real benefits of having some extracts, not just essential oils. So I'm actually going to be weeding away from using essential oils as much as extracts because they're more concentrated. But that actually is about to be new and improved. I'm actually about to not reformulate because I've already reformulated. All I had to do was just add it in, just move some numbers around to add it, make room for that extract. But I'm actually about to rebrand that one with this new coffee extract. It took me hell and high water to find this goddamn extract because it's not sold on none of the normal websites. So I had to order this one. But coffee definitely will do it. Any forms of coffee, and this is a coffee extract that I'm actually adding to this product. But this coffee extract can be added to all products. It does leave a little bit of a coffee scent, but it's very faded, and it can be covered up with fragrance oils as well. But what I love about shea butter is being antifungal. For people who actually have foot problems, shea butter is a very good product to put inside of any foot creams that you have. Anytime you have any fungal issue, antifungal or fungal issues, shea butter is a good product to use. My next product that I like to use is mango butter. Mango butter is actually my favorite butter to use. It's not even shea, it's actually mango butter. Mango butter is antioxidant. It doesn't have a lot of benefits though. It reduces anti-aging. And it reduces fine lines and wrinkles, and it also will get rid of some of the dark spots that we have. And I've learned that the dark spots simply comes from a lack of oxygen from not sleeping properly, which is one of my downfalls of not getting any sleep. And then kokum butter. Kokum butter is another butter that, this one comes from India. So a nut butter that comes from India. And I know a lot of people hear nut butters and they think, oh my God, I'm allergic to nuts and I'm a breakout. And honestly speaking, nut butters, which is nothing but an oil, has never, ever, ever been proven to break anybody out. Never. People who have allergies to, coconut oil. Hi, was that uniquely? I didn't catch it right away. I'm sorry. Hi, uniquely done. Happy New Year. Oh, that's Linda. Hi, Linda. These fools are lighting fireworks during the day. Did y'all just hear that? So I live in a state where they're legal and they was going all night long. I don't care where you drive, every 5 miles, no, less than that actually. Every about 2 to 3 miles you drive, you're gonna see a fireworks store. It's horrible. But anyway, cocoa butter, it comes from the tree from India. And the thing is I often question, what India are y'all talking about? Like, are you talking about Hindustan, or are you talking about here in America, which the original name is called Timerica, or India Superior, which is our real name? So, you know, I wonder, like, where does this really come from? But it says it comes from the kokum tree in India. One of the benefits I really love about cocoa butter is that it has vitamins A, D, E, and K. Yes. And it actually, one of my favorite things, it has iron, calcium, and phosphorus in it. I was talking to my chemist, cosmetic chemist. She's in New York. And she was telling me that even people who have low iron that doesn't like to take iron pills, which iron pills, you know, you're not really getting any iron in iron pills, you're getting synthetic iron. In order to get real iron, you have to get it from your foods. She said you would get almost as much iron in your kokum nut than anything else. And I don't know if a lot of you know that these very butters that we put on our hair and skin, you actually can cook with these same butters. I don't know, did y'all know that you can cook with these butters? Put a one in the chat if you knew that you can cook with every one of these butters. Oh, wow. Yes. So, well, you know you can cook with coconut oil. But you can cook with coconut oil, you can cook with shea, you can cook with mango, you can cook with kokum. These butters all can be used to cook with. Now, they all have different melting temps. However, you can actually cook with them. A lot of people don't even realize that these very same butters that are going on our hair and skin, because you got to remember these butters are also organic. Now, I don't know if mango butter is an actual organic. I haven't found it where it's organic, but we do know that shea comes in organic or non-organic, as well as kokum. Now, the difference with shea, comes deodorized, which means they're taking the scent out of the shea nut, or it comes unrefined, where they have that nutty, somewhat chocolate smell to it. So it just depends on your preference. Neither one of them has any more benefits than the other. They're both the same. They work the same. It's just whether you want the overpowering chocolate smell in your product versus you don't. Now, I use both depending on what I'm using. So like for my coffee scrub, I use the unrefined because that's probably where Sean's smelling that chocolate from, because I use the unrefined in that one. But for something like this, I don't want this recipe to be overpowered by it. So this has the deodorized shea butter. And you can also tell because one is a little bit more grainier than the other, and one is more white than the other. So the unrefined is a little bit more darker. It has like kind of like a khaki color to it, a little bit darker khaki color to it, versus the deodorized, which means that, like I said, they removed the scent. That one is more white. So that's how you can tell the difference with the shea butter as well. But kokum butter is really good for the scalp. So if you have like flaky scalp, flaky skin, anything of that nature, it's really good for you. So I mean, I would tell you that kokum butter is probably one of the best butters to use. It's more expensive than shea. However, it is one of the top of line butters to use. I was thinking about moving over to some Moro and other butters. Those butters are very expensive. I don't really know if I really want to move over to those butters just for the name of it or the sake of it, because that means you got to raise the cost of your products, because the cost of the butters are a lot more. So I love the recipe I have now, so I'm just thinking about just keeping it where it is right now. So while we're talking, I should have put this on on the stove. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the stove and get this melted down so I can work on my second batch because I'm making 2 scents. So although these are fragrance oils, and I made a extract myself as well, because you can make your own extracts as well, and you can actually even sell them legally. However, I made a chamomile, calendula, and lavender extract for my baby's line, and because that actually helps with the soothing of the skin. And we know babies also have diaper rashes at times and things of that nature. It comes from their wearing the Pampers and their bottoms being moist, and all this waste being on the body. But you can still use fragrance oils with babies as well. So like I told you, you can't read the label, but every company, whether it's on the label, whether it's on the website, they are required. You may be able to see Candle Sciences a little better. You can see where they got the percentages on here as well, and they have it on the website. It'll tell you even down for babies how much you can use versus how much you can use for adults. And so as long as you stay within that range, you stay within the INFR's regulations, which is part of this government. And it also will keep the baby from having any skin irritations or allergens to it. Because know that when you buy this stuff has already been formulated by chemists. These cosmetic chemists have formulated these products for you to be able to use them. So never feel like you got to shy away from a fragrance oil because it's for a baby. Because guess what? The very products you're buying on the store has these very same scents in it. So, I don't know if I really want to sit here now and make this butter, more so than I really wanted to do more education on it, because I do want to add a few more things to my butter. But what happens is you'll melt down those butters, and then once you melt down your butters, you're going to stick it in the refrigerator or the freezer for just a little bit. Now, this is a little bit harder than I really would have wanted to, because it's such a small batch. Because this batch is for Carson, which is why I don't have any gloves on. But let me explain this first. Hold on, let me push pause. Always, always, always sanitize everything. So before I began, I even had to tell my husband, don't put nothing on the kitchen counter. Because I take a solution of bleach and water first. Well, first let me back up. I washed it down with soap and water. Then I have a spray bottle that I have. It has a bleach and water, and I'll spray everything down and wipe everything down with a white paper towel. Then I come back, and when I say everything, I mean even down to the bottles, the bags, the everything that I have to touch. Even my iPad was even wiped down with bleach and water. Anything you have to touch, you need to wipe it down with that bleach and water, because you don't want to have sanitized hands and then turn around and touch dirty bottles or dirty bags and things of that nature. So everything that's within this general area, even the things I have over here that I'm going to be using, all have been wiped down with bleach and water. Then I come back with just pure either 91 to 99% alcohol. Then I spray everything down with alcohol, the counters, all the utensils, everything. So always, always, always hand sanitize. Now, when I'm making you guys' products, I'll wear a net or a plastic bag. Certain products, I'll go ahead and put my face mask on also, especially when it comes to the wind and things of that nature, just to be sanitized, and then my gloves that I always have on. There's some videos you'll see me with gloves on. If it's for me, I won't have any gloves on, but this one is particularly for Carson. I still cleaned everything down because she's still a baby, it's gonna be a newborn baby, but after that I was like, I'm not gonna gloves from Carson. But after you do that, you want to put this in the refrigerator. If it's a big batch, you typically want to put it in there for about an hour. It just depends on your refrigerator or freezer, depending on what you're putting in. I put that in the freezer because I needed to hurry up, because I waited till the last minute because I was cleaning down and getting everything measured out. And here I have some hemp oil and olive oil. Olive oil is very gentle for babies. It's a very good oil to use in baby shampoos and bar soaps and things of that nature, which I have curing. The only problem with olive oil, it takes a year for any olive oil soap to cure. A whole year to get that water moisture out of the soap. So this is, like I said, hemp oil, which is also beneficial for baby skin. It repairs the baby skin. It actually acts as a barrier to any dapper rashes and things of that nature. It actually rejuvenates any scars that a baby or child may have as well. And here I have some vitamin E and jojoba oil. Remember I told you jojoba oil, I know people say jojoba oil, but it's called jojoba. The J's are H's. Because you got to remember there did not used to be a J in our English language. A J came later. I believe it didn't come about until like 1940 or something like that. However, jojoba oil is almost an exact replica of the oils that's in natural oils in our skin. And you got to remember, as I said to you earlier, who has natural oils in their skin? We do, which is why we typically have oily skin, because we are naturally oily people, because we have sebum, whereas they do not have sebum. But anytime you need any cell rejuvenation, jojoba oil by itself will do it as well. It actually rejuvenates any scars, cuts and scrapes and things of that nature. And like I said, so I have my vitamin E and jojoba oil already weighed out. Now what I do is I don't mix my, oh thank you, I did this myself. I still want yours though. I still gotta buy yours. I just told my husband, we got check coming in the mail, and I was like, I'm going to Starnes website because there's a few things I want. I need to get 3 keychains, and there's 2 shirts that I want. I want your Zen shirt, and I want your Love shirt as well. And I was like, and there's a couple of templates I'm going to get as well. But yeah, I did this one. I was going to make a smaller one and put on my jeans like I seen you do. I was going to do a small one like maybe right here. I was thinking about doing, but yeah, I did this one probably back in maybe like December, November of last year. So I've had this for a little while, I just wasn't really wearing it. But yeah, I made this one. And then here I have my preservative. I mean, sorry, this is another, no, sorry, that's another one. I did 2. And then I have to wear out my preservative and my fragrance oil. The only reason why I'm putting preservative in this particular recipe, because with body butters, you do not need a recipe. Preservative, excuse me. Only time you need preservatives is when you're adding water to a product. Because whether you can see the bacteria or not, within 24 hours, you will have bacteria in it. Never, ever, ever, ever buy a product from anybody who has put water in their product and they did not put a preservative in it. Vitamin E is not a natural preservative. Vitamin E only it's an antioxidant that keeps your oils or your recipe from going rancid. And it helps stabilizes your product while it's sitting on the shelf. That is simply all vitamin E does. It does not have a natural, no capability of preserving a product. Neither does honey, neither does rosemary essential oil, like you hear people say. Those are absolute lies. Those are people who have not done their research. But you will hear a lot of small businesses on social media telling you that they will. But you absolutely need a preservative. The reason why I chose to do the preservative is because of the type of fragrances that I'm using. Typically, I would not use a preservative in a body butter because that's not something that you're going to be putting water in. Sugar scrub has to have a preservative in it. Although there's no water in my sugar scrub, you're actually taking that sugar scrub into the shower. You're taking it into the bathroom. You're having it at the sink. So although the recipe itself doesn't call for water, excuse me, you're going to be in that shower, your hands are going to be wet, you're going to be digging your hands in that sugar scrub. What you think you're doing? You're now introducing water to that sugar scrub. If there's no preservative in that product, you got bacteria. It's that simple. But like I said, only reason I'm doing it is because of the particular ingredients that I actually using. These fragrance oils I would prefer. Now, I also want to talk about this before we go. And I'll talk about a couple more products. Hold on, give me 1 second. And remember, I said everything is wiped down. Everything is wiped down. Now, what I don't do is certain oils I will not heat up. Okay, hold on 1 second. So I just boiled that down. I removed it from the heat, and then I was able to add those oils. Because you can break down the oils. Oh yes, thank you, Sean. Please like, subscribe, share it if you can. I still gotta learn how to share it, so Sean, you're going to show me how to share live on it as well. But certain oils I absolutely would not heat up. One thing we do is we heat up olive oil, and a lot of people don't realize that olive oil is not supposed to be heated. Olive oil is not even supposed to be used to cook with. Olive oil is simply for dressings. I don't know if a lot of people know that. Well, I am Italian by blood. And so it's something that I learned as a young girl. My great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather, they are Italian by blood. They are from Sicily, so they're Sicilian. They're melanated Sicilians. They are the original Sicilians over there in Italy that came here and was naturalized years ago, back in the 1800s. But olive oil is an actual oil that's never, ever, ever supposed to be cooked with. And it's interesting because if you watch any cooking shows, you will see where a lot of chefs actually cook with olive oil. And it makes me cringe every time I see it, because I know that olive oil is not supposed to be heated. It's simply supposed to be used for dressings, for you making salad dressings and things of that nature. So I will always wait until I take my products off the heat first, let it come down a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and add the any olive oil to it, because you actually are losing every single benefit that olive oil has. And olive oil has just as many nutrients and vitamins in it than any other oil that you're going to use on your skin. It's one of the best oils you'll use on your natural skin, which is why it's an excellent oil for babies, because it's gentle. The only thing about olive oil, if you're using it in any form of soap, olive oil does not sud. It does not give you bubbles. So therefore, you want to use low amounts of olive oil in any soap recipe that you're making, because it will lower your ratio of bubbles. And so with shea butter gives you a nice hard bar soap if you're using and making bars, but shea butter will lower your bubble levels. So there is a calculator that you can use that will teach you how to make bar soaps. But if you got high levels of shea butter, high numbers of shea butter, you're going to have a low numbers of bubbles. Now understand this, bubbles don't clean anything. Bubbles is aesthetic. It's simply aesthetic. So anytime you're buying any products from the store and you got bubbles in it, that's a chemical that they use to make it. Whether it's all synthetic. Now there are some, hold on a second, y'all didn't know I was dying that quickly. Give me a second. But I don't know why it tore my battery down so quickly this time. That's a first. Sorry, y'all. That's the first time that happened. I was at 80% when I started, and it dropped down really, really, really quickly. So I apologize for that. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, shea butter would definitely lower your bubbles. So like I said, if you buy a product from the store, if you look on the back of it, it'll tell you what the chemical is that actually makes the bubbles. But bubbles don't have any cleaning capabilities. Now, there are some natural products out here that actually are derived from coconut oil, because coconut oil actually is an amazing product to add bubbles to any products. Coconut oil gonna give you more bubbles than anything. Now, there's some, you can use coconut oil, or you can use products that were derived from coconut oil, or coconuts, excuse me, that were derived from coconuts, and will all still do the same thing, which I actually use some of those products, because those products are gentle, mild, and they do not cause any type of allergens to anybody who has coconut oil or coconut allergies. So, that's just a little tidbit. So, but I wanted to talk quickly before we get off of here about colorants. So there are many colorants out here. You'll see a lot of people buy a lot of colorants and things of that nature. I personally will stay away from any colorants off of Amazon. The reason being is because none of the big legitimate stores are actually selling their colorants on Amazon. So I personally would completely stay away from it. My two favorite companies are, I'm typically going to show companies because I'm not being sponsored, but are Crafters Choice and Nurture Soap. I absolutely love their products. They use FDA approved, INFR approved colors, whether they're micas, lakes, or dyes. Now there are laws against it. A lot of people are out here putting these products out here with all these colorants in it. They're not supposed to, and things of that nature. I just know that Kim follows the law, because one thing I don't want to do is put all this money, time, and effort into this business and then be shut down by the government because of one little mistake, or one little decision, I should say, because it's not a mistake, it's a decision that I made. I was sharing with Sean one day about how there's red lakes and things. And you can use red lakes in your products, but there are certain products you can't use red lakes in, which is, i.e., a bath bomb. The law does not allow us to use it in a bath bomb, but you can put it in shampoo, you can put it in body butter, you can put it in lotion, you can put it in a whole lot of products, but you can't put it in a bath bomb, you can't put it in bath salts, you can't put it in things of that nature. And so there are certain colorants that we can use for, like, what they call rinse-off products, which are products where you're taking a bath or a shower and rinsing it off, versus products that stay on your body, which is a lotion, a cream, and things of that nature, even down to the products that go on your hair. I am going to use a little bit of colorants. These are, like I said, this is a certified mica powder by Nature Soap. Mad Micas is one of my favorite companies as well. They also have batch test. So you'll hear people say batch tested. You always want products that are batch tested. You're not going to be able to see it, but it is on their labels and it's on their websites. I only use products that are batch tested, which means the FDA went into these companies and they certified these companies. They tested these products, tested these colorants in them. They had cosmetic chemists to go in there and test these products, and they certify them. So if it's not batch tested, do not use it. But for colorants, you use such a tiny bit, whether it's for a baby or adults, use such a tiny bit, you can't even put it in your formulation. You literally just can't. I use a 1/16 of a teaspoon, and I just start going from there. You always want to use a little bit because you can't use a lot and take it away, but you can use a little bit and add on. And these are some of the same products that are in your store-bought products that you're buying, or same colorants, I should say. So you'll see a label that says mica or colorants on it, or lakes and dyes. That's what that simply means. So this one is a mica, and this is a mica. Both of these are micas. The red, peppermint, that was actually a dye. It was a lake and a dye. And so with that, there's a product you have to use called polysorbate. And you have to use that because that helps dispenses the color, as well as it keeps it from staining your tub. Now, understand all colorants can have the capability of staining your washcloths, but that's not what we're concerned about. We're concerned that we don't stain your tub or your shower and things of that nature. And that's what this product is for. So you will see that. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on. Like I said, I started having some problems with my doggone my stand. I was having problems with other things, and I'm like, I was going to cancel the live, and I was like, I don't want to cancel the live. I really wanted to whip up some butter, but I was having so many technical difficulties and things of that nature. So I said, you know what, I'll just come on and I'll just talk about, making some body butters and things of that nature. I'm going to go live again, maybe 2 more times this week. We can do some more. I do need to make the body wash for the baby, and I'm going to be making a diaper cream as well. So I'm going to be selling that as a set. I was thinking about adding a natural powder, but I'm not really quite sure yet, because I personally don't use powders. I never used them on my babies. I hated the powders. I even hated that old school powder look that women used to have on their necks and chests and all that foolishness. But to each his own, no disrespect. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, please drop them down in the comments. I'm going to upload a few things to my description box once this uploads. I really thank you for coming and supporting my channel once again. The OGs and betweens, as Los would say, but I thank my day ones for coming and supporting again. I got some more good, exciting things coming out. Actually have my facial line that's actually going to be launching. Hopefully I can have that finished by the end of this week that I've been working on. That was a problem because the fragrance oil that I was using, I just was not feeling it. It just was a little, I don't know, it just wasn't feeling it. And I hopefully will have my shampoo and conditioner finished this week as well. So I'm working on a lot. Excuse me, behind the scenes, I've been working on a lot, even though I've taken the time to do the crochet. I'm actually going to do a sewing as well, because my daughter said, well, why don't you start teaching sewing again as well? So I kind of added a lot to my plate, but you know, I think I can get it done. I think I can do everything. So, but again, thank you for taking the time to hear me talk about my products. If you're interested, you can head on over to www.copperhuecollections.com. And again, I'll be having some more products uploaded by the end of the week. I'm also going to add some of my cups because I've gotten, thank you, talk to you later, Sean. You enjoy the rest of your day and get some rest. You and Charlie get some rest. And we need to see some pictures of Charlie too. We need to see Charles too. We want to see how fly he was. And so I am going to add my cups because I did get some messages about some of my cups. I did get some inboxes as well as some of my posts and stuff like that. So I'm going to add some of my rhinestone cups, and I'm going to start blinging online. I did any blinging online, so you know I actually created a few templates. I now need to go ahead and test those templates out. So I'll be ordering some cups this week so I can go ahead and test them out to make sure the template actually fits the cup properly. So again, I thank you for taking the time to spend an hour with me. I want you to have a happy, prosperous new year. I pray that you get everything that you desire for this year. Oh my God, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And until the next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this live. And I'll see you again soon.